Hey everybody, it's your boy SergDragon. Welcome back to another edition of the Heavens Monsters podcast. Today we are going to cover Friday Night Smackdown and 205 Live, both on January 17th. With me today we have the Shadow Spider, Chris Petrie, and last but not least, Xavier Hill, the Silver Griffin.
Once again, MVP is in the ring, so that can only mean one thing. Big things popping, little things stopping. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the view, because the Heavens Monsters podcast is for people better than you.
Alright, so let's hit this off. First of all, thanks to my buddy Chris, he actually told me that I forgot to mention something as far as NXT. And that is the fact that with freaking Keith Lee, I thought he actually jumped one of the members of Undisputed Era. Thanks to coming home and watching it again, I saw that he jumped the security guards. He had pole vaulted one of the security guards through the bush and threw another onto a truck, shouting out that he is going to be the end of Roderick Strong. That's what he said. Okay. Was there anything else I missed, Chris?
No, that was it.
Alright, just checking, my brother. Thank you for mentioning that. In which case, now let's get started on Smackdown Live. We start off with the return of Kane, only for one night, and he is interrupted by Bray Wyatt and the Firefly Funhouse, telling him that the Fiend does not forget, and he never forgets. The Fiend then shows up in the ring, so it was just a recording. That's what it tells me. And Kane slowly turns around, looks at him and says, "What took you so long?" Who was it he was talking to? Was it the Fiend or
Daniel Bryan?
That's Daniel Bryan. Oh, Daniel Bryan hit him with the running knee and was chasing him down the hole. I didn't know they would actually do that, bros. I didn't think they would actually start the show with somebody coming out from underneath the ring. There's a hole in the ring throughout the rest of the night, right? I mean, how many people were actually watching that, having them take off the board and just put another board right there and put it back? Did they do that? Because that sounds unsafe as hell throughout that night. But Daniel Bryan would go ahead and actually try to get him from going into that hole. Sadly, he couldn't, but he didn't come out empty-handed. He had the dreadlocks. He had several of the Fiend's dreadlocks and actually was doing yes. And the Kane came in the ring and said yes. Yes, they had themselves a little yes party. What's funny is because I was watching that night coming home, the Kane's photo shoot, and I was just, oh, that had to be perfect. Kane shows up and starts the night. Oh, God. That was funny. And after which, this is going to be interesting. Daniel Bryan is upset that he has to deal with the Fiend going into that hole. So he challenges the Fiend to a strap match, leather strap match, technically, at the Royal Rumble. So, in order to win, you are literally tied to your opponent with a leather strap you can use as a weapon, and in order to win, you have to hit 1, 2,
all four turnbuckles.
Yeah, in a row, in a circle. If you are stopped for any reason, you have to start over.
First two I remember did that was William Regal and Stone Cold Steve Austin. Back in 2001.
And the other with Coleman,
Cole Cabana?
K-Dog, and Big Bubba.
Oh,
and WCW. Monday Nitro.
Thank you. You want to handle this one, bro?
All right. The next match we have John Morrison versus Big E of the New Day. After John Morrison dropped Big E last week to assist The Miz in the A-Listers win over Kofi Kingston, Morrison squared off against Big E with Miz and Kingston in their respective corners. Competing in his first WWE match in over 8 years, Morrison looked dynamic as ever, but he ran into trouble when Big E's power began to shine. In the critical moments, Miz got up on the apron, but Kingston shoved Miz into the ring steps. Jomo took out Kingston, allowing Miz to recover and distract Big E just enough to give Morrison the opening he needed to connect with several strikes to Big E's head. The former Intercontinental Champion followed up with a sharp Starship Pain for an impressive victory in his first match back.
Jomo? Who put Jomo?
Jomo.
That's weird. So the dirt sheet is most likely officially back. But will they go into the tag team division? That's yet to be said. Speaking of which, we would have ourselves a tag team match. The Usos versus the Revival, in which case, at the end of the match, the Usos won with a double splash, and the Revival are interviewed afterwards saying that WWE is making it more difficult for them to actually show how the tag team should be. So if WWE doesn't do anything to fix the tag team division, they will. What lengths will they go? We'll have to wait and see. During that interview with the Revival, I remember this, we hear noises coming around the corner, and it's none other than Lacey Evans jumping both Sasha Banks and Bayley. Later in the medical area, we would hear that Sasha Banks was pre-scheduled to actually fight Lacey Evans in a match, but thanks to her ankle injury, the match would have to be changed up from Sasha Banks to Bayley. And Bayley's tripping, thinking the title would be on the line. Nope, it's a non-title match. In which case, afterwards, we would have the fact that Bayley versus Lacey Evans ends with Lacey Evans women's right and actually gets the win on the current SmackDown Women's Champion. How do you think about that, boys?
She pinned the champion, so does that mean that
does she get a title shot?
She already has one, but this going into the Royal Rumble doesn't look too good for Bayley. Your thoughts?
No comment on me.
Well, then I'm going to hand this to you, bro, because here we go.
Braun Strowman cleared the ring of Shinsuke Nakamura, Cesaro, and Sami Zayn. Elias made it a weekly tradition to serenade the WWE Universe in attendance for Friday Night SmackDown.
Serenade.
I
know. I was like,
yeah. The WWE Universe in attendance for Friday Night SmackDown with an original song. But Sami Zayn and company wanted to stop the music this week.
Yeah, they did.
Zayn, Cesaro, and Intercontinental Champion, as our buddy Mike Henry calls him, Shinsuke Nuts Gamora. Thank you for that. Interrupted and revealed that they simply had no interest in accepting Braun Strowman's challenge to take on Nakamura for the Intercontinental title. After Zayn declared the King of Strong Style for the Royal Rumble match, Elias started singing a new song bashing Nakamura, Cesaro, and Zayn, prompting Zayn and company to use their numbers advantage to beat down Elias. Braun Strowman had different ideas, though. The Monster Among Men hit the scene as he and Elias cleared house and left one very clear impression. Strowman is still eyeing Nakamura.
Nakamura don't want these hands of Braun Strowman. Oh, shoot. Fuck it. I might as well just give it back to you.
Oh, my goodness.
I might as well just give it back. I know you want to call this one.
Alexa Bliss versus Sonya Deville, one half of Fire Desire. Last week, Otis paid major divisions for Fire Desire. This week, not so much. After Otis was unintentionally instrumental in helping secure 3, 2, 1.
Mandy. There you go.
Mandy Rose a victory over Alexa Bliss last week. Sonya Deville figured to keep the good vibes by going by actually having Otis in her corner tonight against Bliss, who was flanked by Nikki Cross.
Damn.
In competitive match, saw the Golden Goddess get up on the apron in an attempt to help Deville. However, Cross knocked Rose off the apron and Mandy fell right onto Otis's arm as the two locked eyes. The chaos distracted Deville, giving Bliss just enough time to sneak up behind Sonya and roll her up for a victory.
Damn.
Sonya was heated, Mandy was speechless, and Otis was absolutely devastated. It's hard to replicate success.
Yep. She wanted Otis at the beginning, saying, "Can we have him in my corner? You know, he helped you last week." I'm like, I don't know if he'll do it. Oh, believe you me, if you ask, he'll do it. You know Otis. He can't say no to Mandy. He can't say no. How'd you feel about that, Chris?
It looked like a love moment.
The beauty meets the beefcake. Okay. Here we have the main event. It would be a tables match between Roman Reigns and Robert Roode. That's a lot of R's in those names. I mean, seriously, look at that. R. R. Too many R's. In which case, as you would expect, considering the rules of tables, there are no rules. So you could use any weapon, any this, any that, low blows even, and still the only rule is you have to throw your opponent through a table. In which case, King Corbin came to the arena with his stooges, his carrier, and Dolph Ziggler was in the ring to jump him. Ultimately, we would have 2-on-1 situation while King Corbin was watching near ringside where the commentators were. Where it looked actually pretty dim as to see Roman Reigns about to receive the end of the match. It would be his cousins, the Usos, that come to the rescue and put it to a stop. Ultimately, it was a fair 3-on-3 with the final note being put on Robert Roode being thrown into a table with the spear, and the match won. And with no, what's the word? No wear and tear, no rust, not rust. No. Basically, there's no sign of any fatigue. No fatigue coming from Roman Reigns going in at the Royal Rumble next Sunday. Next week. And that would be it for Friday Night Smackdown. How'd you feel about King Corbin and Dolph Ziggler interfering in that match again?
Sad that they can't be tossed because there's no rules. But Roman Reigns got the job done shutting Robert Roode up.
Alright, Chris? What'd you feel?
I'm happy for Roman Reigns pick up the win, but what kind of stipulation he's going to choose for the Royal Rumble?
Thank you for reminding me. I forgot there was a stipulation. Well, courtesy of the fact that he mentioned it's going to be at Minute Maid Park, and that park is big. He said that you're going to be whooping his ass all over the place. So he made it a Falls Count Anywhere match. Ooh, part of me's wishing we were there, but too bad. So sad. We're going to have to enjoy it at the comfort of my home, which is here. And I hope to see you guys there next week. We're going to see all this go crazy. Oh, this is going to be good. And with that said, Xavier Hill, I know you want to do it. So give the shout out to my brother.
So before we get into 205 Live, it's time to do a shout out to all the members of the Heaven's Monsters podcast. Starting with these three. Myself, Xavier Hill, Mike Henry, and Andre Mitchell. A link to our 3 YouTube pages will be in the descriptions down below as always. And remaining shout out to Terrence, aka T-Money, Renee, Chris Petrie right here, Pharaoh, and Delvin.
There you go. See, I was even telling that to T-Money because I'm used to putting up 5 fingers. Who's the fifth person? Oh, it's you! Alright, with that said, let's go ahead and get into 205 Live. I went ahead and showed my boys that episode that we just watched because they don't have the WWE Network. Usually, they would have to watch this stuff on YouTube if it's uploaded by WWE or illegally, you know what I mean? So with that said, I was able to show it to them on the WWE Network, so here we go. First up, we got Tyler Breeze versus Arya Daivari. With Tyler Breeze, despite losing in the triple threat on NXT for the number one contendership for the Fatal 4-Way at Worlds Collide this Saturday, he would not lose any momentum going against Arya Daivari and defeats him, while Arya Daivari is now questionably back on his losing streak and is not happy in the least. In other news, we have the general manager of 205 Live, Drake Maverick, issuing a welcome back anytime he pleases to gentleman Jack Gallagher, who was suspended previously for assaulting him. So now that that's lifted, apparently, and I'm still questioning, how the hell do you put such a long tweet? I can't even do that. I try. But anyway, with this long tweet were a list of demands. I'm not going to list them, but the one thing we can state is that he wants certain things to ridiculously be named before he returns. One of which was for him, Drake Maverick to dress as a respectable general manager. I'm like, he's wearing a suit. He's already wearing a suit. What the hell is he talking about? The AOP gear he sometimes wears on Smackdown? Other thing that I find funny out of that whole list is that he wants the ringer announcer to appraise him as former up, up, down, down champion. Huh? I know what that means. It's Xavier Woods, aka Austin Creed's title that he has for him and the gamers of WWE. Lists like Cesaro, Samoa Joe, Alexa Bliss, Bayley. The list can go on. We'll be here for too long. But the fact is, gentleman Jack Gallagher, he's playing the heel pretty damn too uppity. With that said, I'll leave this to you, my brother Xavier.
Lio Rush versus Sunil Singh.
Mm-hmm.
Attempting to rebound following his loss in the triple threat match on WWE NXT.
Yeah, it wasn't just Tyler Breeze.
Nope. Lio Rush was looking for a win at an expense on one of the superstars who interrupted his match with Isaiah Swerve Scott last week. Sunil Singh, of course. Sunil didn't come to the ring alone, as his brother Samir accompanied him. The Singh brothers took their time dancing around the ring, but the man of the hour grew impatient, jumping over the top rope to take out his opponent.
Mm-hmm.
The match was officially underway as Rush tossed Sunil into the ring and charged forward at a breakneck pace, keeping the Singh brother on defense. After Sunil gained the advantage thanks to some antiques from Samir, Rush regained control and sped up the pace. After dumping Sunil out of the ring, the man of the hour was stopped from leaping to the outside as Samir stepped into film Rush. On the outside, Sunil called for his brother to take his place in the match. Samir, obliged in a bizarre attempt to execute some classic twin magic made famous by the Bella twins, but neither.
Oh, way before that. That was way before. Who put that?
The twin magic.
Yeah, that was done way before. We're talking the guys that hanged around JBL with the guy who, what was that guy who was United States Championship for him, Chris?
One of the Basham? The Basham brothers?
There you go.
Yeah.
They were doing the twin magic before them, and I think even more before that, but I can't recall who was before them. But yeah, keep going.
Yep. but neither the official nor Rush were fooled by the Singh magic. After the official ordered Samir to hit the showers, leave ringside, Rush seized the opportunity to kick Samir through the bottom rope and execute the come up on Sunil.
It's a springboard, bottom rope springboard.
I don't know who came up with that.
He did. It's freaking stunner.
The come up on Sunil. Rush then followed with the final hour to secure the pinfall. Lio Rush wins the match.
Yeah, sorry about that earlier. I was like smelling something like, oh, it's my fingers. It's Kool-Aid. I was making Kool-Aid earlier. I was making 2 different flavors, so I was like, what? Okay, so the main event, wait. How do you feel about those 2 matches with Tyler Breeze and Lio Rush? Despite losing to Swerve, they ended up getting their wins on 205 Live. How you feel about that, Chris?
I feel that Tyler Breeze bounced back of the win, defeating Ariel Barry. He's still in a losing streak, Ariel Barry. Yeah.
You still gotta lose this streak. Ooh, handshake. Before I forget, I remember this much from watching 205 Live. We have interesting news that this Thursday will be the actual final 2 participants of the... What? You got a call? Hold on.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Let me pause it. And make sure we're back. Make sure it's not wobbling. And as to what I was saying, this Thursday on NXT UK brand, we will get the final 2 participants for the Fatal 4-Way at Worlds Collide on this Sunday at Toyota Center in Houston, Texas. So it will have the Kiwi Buzzsaw going against the Brian Kendrick. I don't remember him being in the UK. I'm kind of questioning how Noam Dar's name didn't even come up. But sure enough, it would be 2 other competitors. I'm trying to remember. I know Den somebody.
Jordan Devlin.
Jordan Devlin versus who? I don't remember. What was his name? See, I deleted it, so... I mean, I could go check, but... Okay, hold up. Let me see. NXT UK on what day? The 16th. I know it's a Thursday. I'm checking what's it? 16th. Ooh. 2020. Oh, that's not helping. Well, it was just going to be 2 superstars there. I'll just say that. We will have 2 superstars, the Kiwi Buzzsaw versus the Brian Kendrick, the Ace versus Delero. That's his name, Delero, the Minotaur English flag mask wearing guy. It's Delero.
Yeah.
Okay. I see. I had to remember. It came to me. I just didn't see it. I didn't even see his face. I just remember. I was like, oh, that's who it is. Because I'm thinking, who is in the weight class? There's a bunch of them, but that guy. Which is kind of funny because you would think a former 205 Live competitor, Noam Dar, would have been named in that list, but he's not. Woo! Watch out. We don't usually cover NXT UK, but the fact is, I know for a fact he's going to be mad as hell that his name wasn't even come up, and I'll mention it if he does. Okay. All right. So let's see. What was it? Oh yeah, Swerve versus
Raul
Mendoza, yeah. Raul Mendoza. In which case, in that match, it's funny. Those guys were in a triple threat, yet each one of them got a match that night. That following Friday. Ain't that weird?
Mm-hmm.
And each of them won. Poor Raul Mendoza still is on the losing streak once again, even though he got a win recently on Jack Gallagher. The fact he does not have a good win-lose record. Especially with Swerve having the momentum going into Worlds Collide. He puts Raul down with his, what do you call it? House call. Kick in the back of the head. Finishing maneuver. So, how do you feel about that? About Swerve, Isaiah Swerve Scott? You like him? Well, Angel Garza, it was definitely going to be in that match. So the champion will take part in that fatal 4-way. So we'll see how this is going to go in for both NXT UK, and even the 205 Live competitors at World Collide to see who will be the retaining Angel Garza or one of the three to become the new NXT Cruiserweight Champion. We'll have to wait and see this Saturday, which we will cover Sunday? You think we can cover it before the show starts? Because I don't know if you guys are going to be here Saturday as well as Sunday.
I'm off on Saturdays.
You're off on Saturdays?
Well,
yeah. How's your Sunday look?
Not every Saturday, but I'm off this Saturday.
Yeah. And how's your Sunday look?
I need to check my schedule.
Okay.
Because I could be working Saturday night to Sunday morning.
Yeah, let me know, bro. Let me know. All right. How'd you feel, Chris? How about Isaiah Swerve Scott?
Swerve Scott have been a champion everywhere he go, including MLW, Major League Wrestling. He was a former heavyweight champion over there. Like that, he got the 66 chance to be a cruiserweight champion the first time.
Interesting. See, he watches a lot of wrestling from all over the place. I like that. I like that info. Thank you. I'm glad I asked you. So, with that said, that will be it for this podcast. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. You didn't, give it a thumbs down. Hit the subscribe button if you like the content, and hit that notification bell for the next Heaven Monsters podcast. We'll be covering AEW next, so don't miss it. Peace out, y'all.
Peace.